Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and it is an extra warm welcome because Gabe, myself, and our great friends Jake and Christian just got finished playing a ton of Monster Hunter Wilds last weekend. If you know us, you know that means that we're about as happy as can be, which also means that, yes, our initial impressions of the new title in the series are positive ones. But why are they so positive? Well, that's what we're here to break down in this preview. We'll take time to explain all the new systems, both co-op and otherwise, and by the end we think you'll have a good feeling of what to expect when you hop into the game on February 28th.
Okay.
Oh yes,
Nice,
with the
that was
knock,
sick.
that was so hot, dude.
That was sick, bro. Let's get a second knock here. Come on, head knock.
Oh my god, poor guy.
Not yet.
Oh baby, dude, he's popping off. It's happening.
There
Oh,
it is.
yeah, dude, that was so awesome.
The open beta that we got to play included the character creator, the opening story mission, a quick tutorial hunt, and then you could basically roam the first open zone freely and do whatever you so pleased. Within that zone you were able to hunt 3 different monsters with a legendary 4th monster who would only show up every so often. The first system I want to break down is the invite system, because if you've played Monster Hunter in the past, you know that they don't always get this right. To play with your friends, you've got a few steps. It's more nuanced sounding than it needs to be, but once you get going, it actually is a surprisingly seamless experience. First off, this game does have crossplay, which we love, but it means that the initial step is becoming friends within the game to play crossplay. If you're on the same system, you can of course skip this step. Otherwise, it boils down to sharing your Hunter ID with the host, which can be found under the Communications tab. Now that you're friends within the game, you have to invite your buddies to a link party and then follow that up with inviting them to your environment link. A link party means you're in the same party and can go on quests, but you're not exploring the map together, and each member goes back to their individual sessions after a quest is completed. If you want to freely roam the map and not have to go back and forth, then you need to invite everyone to your environment link, and then you're free to tackle hunts without any interruptions. It's a few too many steps, that's for sure, but it works, and once you're in for the session, you're in for the session. Especially because the new Monster Hunter brings with it a new, seamless, integrated map to explore. Veteran hunters will remember how you previously embarked on a quest via the quest board and you get a loading screen as you entered and left the locale. But now everything is, again, totally seamless. You simply pull up your map, track the monster you want to hunt, and ride out from base camp on your new trusty steed. And man, does it make this world feel so much more alive, more so than any other entry. You'll now see monsters traveling in packs, with your target monster being the alpha. There's also a new dynamic weather system that cycles between 3 different seasons, and these conditions can affect how monsters interact, like how during the fallow season you'll see more turf wars break out between monsters as they fight over dwindling resources. Between seasons you'll typically see some inclement weather like sandstorms or thunderstorms, and you can track all of this via a very cool forecast menu. This menu gives you info on weather changes and when a monster will arrive or depart from the map. Crucially, it gives you all this info down to the real world minutes it'll take for something to happen. Lastly, before I dive into our impressions, I want to touch on some new combat additions, namely the wound mechanic, power clash, and the ability to carry 2 weapons. So the new wounding mechanic is a huge change. It sounds small, but it's really not. Basically, monsters now have certain weak spots that can result in a wound, and these wounds allow you to go into the new focus mode, which highlights these wounds in red and lets you unleash a new powerful attack called a focus strike. But that's not all. Keep attacking a wound and you'll knock the monster, leaving him open for a bunch of damage. Our next thing I want to go over is Power Clash, and this is a new mechanic that allows you to knock down a monster after performing a perfect guard. It results in this really sick scene where you're 1v1ing the monster, but if you ask Gabe, it was tricky to pull off, and it seems like only certain weapons can do it. Since not all of them can perfect guard, like my insect glaive, not going to be doing that. And finally, saving the best for last, this may seem like a small thing, but the fact that you can now carry 2 weapons into a hunt is bound to have huge implications going forward. We didn't test this too much in the demo because we were just getting used to our old weapons, because every weapon is new whenever there's a new entry in Monster Hunter, but we still see it may be changing how we hunt. Switching weapons is made easy as you simply hop on your secret and swap while mounted. And that covers most of the new additions to WoW, so with that out of the way, let's dive into some impressions.
Oh, he's doing it.
Yep, watch out.
Holy
Ooh.
You're right, I saw my health get all freaky.
Uh-huh.
That was cool.
Oh my god.
Let's go, dude. Oh, dude, that was such a combo between the 2, bro.
That was awesome.
We both hit our
Huge.
big ones there.
As I said at the start of this video, our impressions of Wilds so far are pretty positive, but to be honest, they could have done a by-the-numbers sequel to Monster Hunter Worlds, and we'd probably still be happy. Thankfully, the team has gone beyond what's expected to push this franchise forward, and it's definitely evident in the co-op gameplay. Co-op play in Monster Hunter has typically felt more like you're playing alongside each other, rather than directly working together. The new wounding mechanic starts to change that feeling. Now we found ourselves communicating when someone opened a wound so we could all exploit that weak spot, just like how we used to do with a tail, but now we're doing it way more. Not only because a wound deals a ton of damage, but also because a lot of weapons gain buffs from pulling off a focused strike. That's particularly important for my boy's Charge Blade. The wounding mechanic has also made certain weapons play a larger role in combat. Not to toot my own horn here, but the Insect Glaive is pretty good at opening wounds given how I can reliably hop on a monster's back and start opening up 2 to 3 wounds per ride. Other weapons like bow, bow guns, and gun lance are bound to come in clutch also with how precise they can target weak spots, which conveniently brings me to the impact of 2 weapon loadouts in co-op. Now listen, our hunting crew cares about one thing and one thing only, big numbers. So no one really wanted to play some of the more support options like the hunting horn. No shade to the hunting horn players out there, I'm sure they get big numbers too. But now we can, on top of getting our big bonk hammer numbers. Now one of us can bring out a horn mid-hunt for some crucial buffs, giving us even more big number potential without leaving their main weapon behind. Or someone can bring out a weapon that's a little bit better at status effects like a bow. Or you could bring a longsword that's a little bit better at cutting off a tail. You get the point. The new mechanic opens up more opportunities for coordination with your crew both before and during a hunt. The other big enhancement to the co-op experience is everything happening between hunts. The new seamless structure has made it even more enjoyable to play this game with your friends. It really feels like you're just out here exploring together and there's nothing stopping you from tackling one hunt after another. It's fairly seamless for anyone to just go back to the hub, craft a new weapon, eat a meal, before coming back and joining the rest of the crew on the hunt. There's now this new level of discovery you can have too, like when we first encountered Ray Dow, the 4th monster I was hinting at earlier. We had a good feeling he was only going to show up with the arrival of a thunderstorm, so we checked the forecast and were able to triangulate his position. Seeing him flying in as the thunderstorm was rolling in was super cool, and we all knew we were in for a sick fight. This was really the point where it hit me that, yeah, this is the next gen for Monster Hunter. We're fighting a sick new monster that literally showed up with a thunderstorm, we're working together to hit those new weak spots, calling out his crazy laser attacks, and popping off when we get some good knocks. This was a tough monster, it actually took us 2 tries, so getting the W in the end felt very satisfying. So yeah, ultimately Wilds is shaping up to be everything we wanted, but there's still a couple of question marks we couldn't answer from this brief slice with the game. The biggest question we have from a co-op perspective is how shared progression will work with the story. They have yet to nail this in a Monster Hunter, with World having a really weird workaround where you would go into a mission, watch the cutscene on your own, come back out, and then pair up with your friends. That was not great. And then Rise essentially separated the story and the co-op missions into separate quest lines. We're really hoping that this will be the first of the Monster Hunter series that allows you to just play the whole game together without any hiccups, but as of this beta, we're still waiting to see what that looks like. The other big question that everybody was and is still talking about, including us, were the visuals and performance seen in this demo. We're going to put aside the PS1 polygonal blobs that plagued PC players. I imagine they figured that out by launch, and Gabe and I played on the PS5 anyways. But we both felt like, from a visual and performance perspective, it was hard to tell if this was a demonstrable leap from Monster Hunter Worlds that was released almost 7 years ago. I'm sure if we put them back to back, we'd see where Wilds has improved, but that's kinda less my point. This is the first Monster Hunter on next-gen platforms. I don't want to even begin to think of comparing it to a 7-year-old game. I shouldn't have to. There's a chance that we're playing a build that's actually probably a few months old, and the performance and visuals at launch are a boost from what we saw here. I don't doubt that. And let me make it clear that if this is a trade-off for the more seamless experience we enjoyed in the demo, I'll take it. But we have to at least recognize that we noticed this as much as most people did. Okay, with all of that out of the way, I'll say this. By the end of the demo, it was really hard to put the controller down. All I could think is that when this launches on February 28th, it is going to put my life on hold in a way that most games don't. And frankly, I can't wait for that. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this preview got as primed and ready for Wilds as we are. If it helped, consider liking the video, subscribing, and leaving a comment below on your thoughts. Before I go, let me shout out our Patreon supporters. They help keep our humble 2-man team running. Consider joining them for all sorts of fun goodies. Until next time though, we'll catch you on another episode of the Co-op Bros.
Could see that.
You non-bug stick people. Where's he going?
What is happening?
this is very
He's
cool.
up there. He's up there.
Get down from up there. It's dangerous. You're gonna hurt yourself.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
Oh, the whole thing's falling.
Oh, shit.
That looked painful.
Where am I? Oh, did I die? Oh, no. I know it did. That was such a weird mechanic. Nice.
In the end, he killed himself.
That's
Dang,
crazy.
dude. That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
We warned him. We said that was too dangerous to go up on that
You
thing.
guys